Talk to me a little bit about what your relationship was like with the Hardys at this point, because they're probably the top act in the whole company. Would that be fair to say?
For sure the top act. And me and Jeff have always had a tighter relationship than me and Matt, or past. Me and Matt now see each other every week. So the set of circumstances have changed. But I tell you what, right off the bat, well, the first was budgets that me and Ed, I can't say that we got sideways, but just no clarity. Then the transparency on the Hardy situation, and as we'll get into, it really caused, and I'll take full responsibility for any and everything that I got out of line saying, but the honesty and transparency of my understanding of not just the Hardy contracts, but the Hardy positioning and the final deletion P&L, I was not told, and still don't really know the exact details, but I know kind of going through this. And again, I'm going to go back. I don't know how much, who was promised what on dollars and cents from all the parties that be. And I want to say Dixie and Ed and Corrigan and whoever else from production. It was a very complicated layer. But yes, the Hardys were by far, I say by far, but yeah, they were the most overact, and their contract was coming up for renewal, and it was at the very top of the talent list. What direction are we going with them? And hindsight's 2020, but I'm looking to Ed for guidance. And not only was I not really getting clear guidance, I was getting misinformation.
What type of misinformation were you getting? Can you give me an example?
Well, there was, and there were, contractually speaking, my understanding was that, and I was told from Anthem, not just Ed, from Anthem attorneys, they own final deletion. They owned it all, which made sense to me because it's
On their program, yeah.
on their programming. I don't think that was the understanding because of, I guess, a number of factors. Maybe what they had agreed on before I got there. I know that Matt.
Yeah, that's this. You said the words P and L a minute ago. I didn't know the deletion P and L. Were you saying in terms of how strong their merch sales were, or were they self financing some of that stuff? So therefore, maybe since they wrote the checks for it, they owned it.
Well, and see, that's where I never could get a clear understanding. But that was, in my understanding, the reality of the situation is that Matt and Jeff had paid for some of, and again, you can take, you can wordsmith some with some 90% or 10%, but they paid for some of the expenses that I'm like, okay, who owns it?
Yes.
Who's going to get paid back? Are you not getting paid back? Who told you to expense that? Who told you not to expense that? All that kind of stuff. What really mattered to me was who owns it, who owns the IP. Like, if you come up with a creative idea at WWE, great. WWE still owns it.
Yes.
And there's not even a gray area. So the kind of conversations I said, I know certain folks paid and didn't pay and this and that. I get that. But as far as the IP, who owns it, who doesn't own? Well, I was told over and over and over, we own it. We own it. We own it. Okay, we own it. And I know it feels like, Conrad, I'm getting too far down because you asked who's the top talent, but they were, and I wanted them signed, re-signed. If I'm putting together a roster, I need to know who the roster is to kind of do the building blocks. But not only that, if they're the top talent, they're going to take X amount of the budget, which, hey guys, what is that budget? And then I'll know what is left over, what's there. Again, Conrad, these were the kind of early problems that were, man, what do I always say, Conrad? Over communicate.
Corporate wrestling doesn't work. That's what you always say.
Yes, it damn sure doesn't.